I have to talk about these text messages. I can't help it. What do you want from me? What do you want from me? I'm only human. These are extraordinary in like the creepiest way imaginable. I usually don't like to do the same type of content back to back, and yesterday I covered some text messages as well, but I can't resist the urge. It calls out to me. The void beckons, and I have to speak on these. So, the context. A lady had an old co-worker whom had been fundamentally stalking her for quite some time. Her and her husband had dealt with this individual for a while, and decided to share some of the unhinged messages that they had been sent by him. There was a lot more that happened besides these text messages, but that's what was shared and what I want to go over. Buckle your seatbelt here, because this is about to be a pretty intense ride. This is a good read from cover to cover, if you like lunacy. Hey, I hope your weekend has started nicely. I apologize it took me a few days to feel like I could say this. No need to apologize, goober. I get it. Had to muster up the courage here. Hype yourself up in the mirror so that you could really let the demon out. You need to break up with blank, and then agree to be my girlfriend, with intentions to be my wife. And let me explain why. So he's basically acting like a car salesman here, trying to drive the hard bargain. It's like an episode of Shark Tank. I'm seeking a wife for 10% equity in my cock. I have no doubt he also had a PowerPoint presentation prepared for this, but unfortunately maybe it didn't attach, so it didn't send. I can provide more for you than he can. The independent woman facade you engage in wouldn't be necessary with me. I make more than enough money in my job in order to take care of you and provide you with a lakefront house, which I know is a desire of yours. I can provide you the free time that you often post about and yearn for to engage in your favorite hobby, ceramics. All I ask for you is your devotion in return. I know I am perhaps not physically desirable to you, which is why I plan to compensate with the lifestyle you often talk about wanting to provide yourself. You can really feel the fedora through these messages. It smells of such potent desperation. It's also very interesting that he calls attention to not being physically desirable to her. It's an interesting negotiation tactic. Excuse me, madam. I know you may not be physically attracted to me, but here's how I can make up for my face looking like turbo ass. I know if you could be given an opportunity, you would take it because you mostly desire to be able to experience freedom in life. It is something painful for me knowing you could have everything you wanted if you would simply agree to be my wife in the future. I could also pay off your student loans and car loan, which I know you've expressed desire to have those completed in the next 6 years. I could do that today, with a simple call to your loan companies. All I need from you is to immediately move to my property and begin your new life with me. Jesus Christ, that is concerning. I can pay off all of this. Just come join my cult. And I promise I am not a rapist or a creep. Nothing screams good guy quite like needing to clarify that you are neither a rapist nor a creep. I mean, would he lie to you, right? I mean, that's what a normal person says, like, by the way, miss, I am neither rapist nor creep, so you should feel safe around me. Now come live on my property immediately. I am not going to imprison you, or shackle you, or enslave you to a basement. Well, alright, breath of fresh air. I was a little concerned about that, but now, luckily, he explained it. Now there's no reason to feel alarmed anymore about that being a possibility. You are free to continue your friendships with your womanly friends and your relationships with your family. I would never take this from you. I would never force you into sexual situations you do not want to be in. I know it must sound so strange hearing this, but I feel I must make it clear to you that this is a dream opportunity that will not harm you in any capacity other than dropping your current life, boyfriend, and job, and immediately begin pursuing your hobbies while we plan our wedding. I've got a sneaking suspicion that this guy would absolutely shackle her and imprison her in the basement, but I imagine she wouldn't be alone down there. There's probably quite a few other victims that he has in that basement. This is a fucking unhinged creep. Now, it's important to mention that this isn't just some random person sending a bunch of nonsense. This is a very credible threat to the safety of this woman. So, according to the husband, they had been dealing with this individual for quite some time, and they even went to court over it. There's a lot that this individual has done, aside from just these creepy messages, and it had been a huge problem for them for a while. This is a really dangerous person to be around. I hope you're not overwhelmed. I know we have not spoken very much in the last 6 years we've known each other. I've always known you were supposed to be mine as soon as I met you on March 3rd, 2018. He's got that shit marked in his calendar as the most important day of his life. I've never once inserted myself into your life. I haven't pestered you for your phone number, and we have an occasional chat on Facebook now that we're not in the same office anymore. I've been satisfied with this level of acquaintanceships for years, and I understand that you have been with blank since 2012. I understand you were committed to him prior to us meeting, but blank, you must agree that we have something special. We share so many interests, and we were always able to have great natural conservation. When we would attend lunch together during the workday, it was an effortless and relaxing experience to share those 40 minutes with you once or twice a week. And don't think I forgot how often you paid for yourself, a trait I knew was you trying to assert your independence in front of me. Oh, the delusion. Oh, the delusion is sickening. That's an example of something I've talked about quite a bit on stream, where no matter what, there are people that will view things in an entirely different lens that make no sense. Something as simple as her buying lunch for herself was interpreted, misconstrued by this fucking menace as her trying to assert her independence in front of him. So it's just like this honestly scary situation where something totally innocent, like just buying yourself lunch, has now completely been lost in the sauce of this dude's noodle, where he thinks it was all about him. It's so weird. I knew then you were trying to show me that you'd love for someone to take care of you. I'm ready to settle into a family-oriented life, and I recall you saying you would have children if you had the financial capital to do so. I know you desire to be a mother, despite your current male partner not wanting them. You would make a wonderful mother to our children. I would ensure you had everything you needed to live the family life of your dream. Wow, I just had a voice crack. That was a big voice crack, too. This man's serial killer stalker Riz just attacked my vocal folds. And I know you love to travel. Before we settle down with children, I want to take you to your dream destination list. I've kept track of all the places you've mentioned over the last few years that you'd like to visit. You always share such a beautiful landscape photos. He's like the Zodiac killer here. I bet if this wasn't over Facebook Messenger or whatever, it would have been sent via postage, letters in the mail, using cutouts from magazines for the letters. I want to take you to Japan, to Thailand, to New Zealand, to Greece. Yaw! It's like that classic one. Oregon! Yaw! Fucking the Dean scream. And after that, we'll go to the opal mines in Australia for your dream ring, and then I'll take you to all the waterfalls the islands have to offer. How does this sound? My proposition is serious. You know I am a serious man. I'm turning 45 years old this year, and you are turning 32 years old. It's time to start making decisions about our familial life and how to enjoy our remaining years. Please know I have never offered any woman this proposition. I have a very secure career that I enjoy and will do whatever it takes to maintain in order to have your companionship, sexual prowess, and motherly raising of our children. I will give you everything you desire, as long as you agree to be my wife and raise our children. A very strong negotiation overall. I wonder how she'll respond to this in the Shark Tank. Hey, blank. I wanted to acknowledge that I received your message. It's really long though, so give me a minute to read and respond. That feels more like she's very afraid and is doing this out of pure obligation, like buying time, to figure out how to handle this without setting this guy off on like some kind of rampage, like this violent outburst, which is smart on her part for sure. To like very gently navigate this, because it's a scary situation having a stalker like this. Good morning. I am still awaiting your acceptance of my proposal. I look forward to hearing from you. Oh god, he's dropping the hammer now. It's all business, and he's not taking no for an answer. Good morning, goofball. I'm going to be perfectly honest, I don't know how to respond to this. I don't mean this negatively, but I honestly don't know whether or not to take this seriously. What I mean by that is, I don't know if this is a joke or not. You said this is quite out of left field, so I'm not exactly sure how to respond to you. This proposition is very serious. I have to make serious considerations about my familial life as I'm ready to establish this. I know I can offer you much more than your boyfriend can. It has been 10 years, and he still has not provided you with those things you desire most. I am a better provider than he is, and I will ensure your needs are met. Please, I would appreciate you taking this seriously and giving me a date and time I can come collect your items and move you into my house. It's in northern blank. This guy is already convinced that it's a yes, and now he's just trying to figure out when he should schedule the college hunks hauling junks to come collect all of her shit to move in with him. So now she fully responds to this. Surely you have to understand I can't agree to something like this. My life is my life because I've built it this way. I am not a damsel waiting to be rescued. While yes, I would enjoy an easier path to achieving the lifestyle I want, I don't mind working for it, and frankly, I'm insulted that you perceive my career to be a choice I'm settled to because I have not found the right man. Most importantly, it's another level of egotistical to assume I would dump an 11-year relationship in an instant for a fantasy pipe dream of yours. I mean this seriously. I'm not interested in your proposition. Trading my life for materialistic items and to be breed mare is not something I ever intended to do with my time. I don't know you. You don't know me. You have a limited glimpse into my life through my social media posts. What you see online represents a fraction of who I am as a person. We were co-workers and nothing more. I made this very clear to you in the years we worked together. I was in my relationship prior to even working with you. Yes, you're right, you never crossed that boundary, but instead you spent the last 6 years building a fantasy and dream life in your mind in which you think I would trade my value as a human being for a lake house and free time for pottery. I'm not sure how you became convinced this would be enough to make me leave the life I have built, but I need to assure you it's not. Please do not ask me this again. I am not interested, nor will I ever be interested in being your wife and child bearer. So she lets it all hang out here. She pulls no punches. She sets the record straight and says it right to his face. Well, as close to his face as anyone will ever come through text messages here. Breedmare. Now, there's no need to insult me. I am not propositioning you to live in solitude and to raise children alone. I want a family. I want you to be my wife, specifically, and I want to build a family with you. I thought you were intelligent enough to understand how great of an offer this is. Buddy, she is intelligent enough to recognize that her life would be in danger saying yes to you, you absolute maniac. You fucking weirdo. She is extremely smart to say no to this, as pretty much everyone on the planet with any level of survival instincts would. You're weird, you're dangerous, you're creepy, you're a stalker. Everyone's going to be saying no to you. I know you're primarily saying no because you don't find me physically attractive. If I looked better than your boyfriend, I have no doubts you would emphatically tell me yes. I didn't know you were so shallow. Oh, now he's going full nice guy mask off mode, even though he wasn't really putting up a nice guy persona in the first place. You would learn to be physically attracted to me just as I learned to be physically attracted to you after you gained 60 pounds. You look much better when you are staying in the 150 to 200 pound range, yet I never said a word to you about the fact that you gained so much weight because I realized you were perfect otherwise. I realized your looks didn't matter when your soul is what I wanted to spend time with. He probably wants to suck her soul out of her body like Shang Tsung. Like, this is a threat to her life, and she is absolutely making the right call, trying her best to get away from this guy and shut it down as hard as possible. It is simply a trade for a house and free time. Oh, the barter method, of course. I am offering you the very thing you constantly talked about and post about, the freedom to enjoy your existence without stress and anxiety. There would be more stress and anxiety with you because you are actually dangerous. It'd be a constant, like, guessing game of whether or not she's going to survive through the night under your roof. This guy is fucking scary. And he makes it seem like so simple. Simply in return, we are married and have a family together. Yeah, I mean, that's small potatoes. That's nothing. That's no big deal. It's a great trade. You get a house and you get the weirdest man in the world. A win-win. You would learn to love it because our home together would be so peaceful and joyful. However, perhaps you're right, and you are not the woman I thought you were. You're attracted to a low-life loser who filed bankruptcy at 25, hid his credit card debt from you. You pay his bills while he job hops because he doesn't know how to stay at a job for longer than a year. You cried constantly at work and had panic attacks not knowing where the money was going to come from. And what did you do? You worked a second and third job to make ends meet while he piddled away at putting in applications and not manning up to do what he needed to do. Why are you choosing this weak boy over me? I am mature, career-oriented, family-oriented, and I am a devoted partner. I would never force you into a position to make up for my shortcomings like your boyfriend does. I am better than him in every way, and yet you still choose him. It is baffling to me why young women like yourself want to be with the losers and drug dealers who will end up beating you silly. Keep in mind, this is coming from the same worm, the same specimen, who had to assure her he's not a rapist and wouldn't imprison her and shackle her. I think this guy is the one that most likely would beat a woman silly, because he has all of the red flags you could possibly fucking imagine about a man. I'm going to fast forward through the second paragraph meltdown here, which is just a teary-eyed tantrum with him shaking his fist saying, I thought you were different. You must stay with him for his penis size, because I can't even begin to understand how someone as intelligent as you are would turn down my offer. A luxury life free of stress turned down for a life of second guessing and financial strain? Why? What good reason do you have to turn down my offer? He immediately goes to wiener size. just another huge insecurity here. So I'm guessing not only is he physically appalling, but he also has a tiny cock. She says, I'm not even going to entertain that message with a response. I don't owe you any explanation about why I'm still with my boyfriend even after all his shortcomings. I don't owe you an explanation on anything, ever. I've been wondering all evening what it could possibly be about me that you're so repulsed by that you won't accept the offer of a lifetime. Yeah, it's such a mystery. What about this perfect gentleman here and scholar would she find repulsive? I'm racking my brain and I got nothing. I have no idea. What could she possibly not like about him? He's such a doll. My friends are also appalled. Why aren't you accepting this? Yeah, I'm sure he has so many friends. He contacts all his friends. He's like, guys, she won't just give up her life and move in with me. What's wrong with this bitch, huh? What's going on? Huh? Is she crazy? She's crazy, right? It's not me. I'm not the problem, right? I didn't think so. It's definitely her. It's everything you have ever wanted, and you're turning it down still? Why? You owe me an explanation after I spent years ensuring I had enough to offer you. That's really scary. If this guy's whole motivation for, like, working hard, grinding, and, you know, getting money is just to try and act on this fantasy delusion with a stranger, that's unhinged. Well, all of this is unhinged, but that one's even wilder because, again, they're not close to each other. They're still pretty much strangers. I'm starting to get very upset by your actions. You have one more chance. Anything less than an emphatic yes will not be accepted. So he tries to, like, bring it down, an ultimatum. Last chance. This is the last ball game pitch here. It's got to be a home run yes, or I'm out. I'm sure this will come as a huge surprise to all of you watching this, but she still said no. In the most polite way possible, fuck off. I don't owe you shit. I'll be blocking you now. Have a great rest of your life. I waited all day to see if your little conniption would resolve and you'd come back begging me for this opportunity. But I see you've decided to block me on Facebook, but too stupid to also block me on Messenger. At least for now. He's now fully in his villain arc. He put on a trench coat, sunglasses, and he's doing this while typing. I see you've blocked me on Facebook, but not Messenger. For now. I cannot believe I allowed myself to become entangled in the idea that a beastly fat woman such as yourself would actually choose to settle down with me. I can do so much better than you, and yet here I was offering you a way out of your wretched life. We both know you're settling with blank because you're too lazy to lose weight and make yourself more attractive, and you've trained him to be okay with your fat. I was willing to let your fatness go to the side because I knew if you had free time, you'd lose the weight and retain a more attractive figure for our relationship. I'm embarrassed I've spent so much time preparing for this moment and was wasted on a fat whore who doesn't know when she has struck gold. I truly thought you were different, that you actually wanted a nice man to be with. I see I was dead wrong. And she says, you can literally suck the juices out of my fat blank and choke on them, you absolute troglodyte. So at least there's a happy ending here. It ended on a positive note for both parties involved. So this guy did end up doing the quintessential nice guy sign-off, that standard song and dance of, you know what, I'm better than you. I should have never wasted my time with you because you're fat, and you're a whore, and you're chunky, you're chubby, and I hate you. You're tacky, and I hate you. You're fat, and I'm a nice guy, the nicest guy you'll ever meet. You blew it. You blew it. It's on you, and you should feel bad. I'm not crying, you're crying. That's where the text message journey comes to a conclusion. Like I said, there was a lot more outside of text that he did, but I only wanted to focus on the texts. Hopefully they don't have to deal with this individual anymore going forward, and yeah, that's about it. See ya. I hope you've been practicing your ha-ha-has, doing your laughing stretches, because we're about to have ourselves a real giggle fit here over this weirdo loser embarrassing himself in a big way. This post blew up on Twitter right now, so it seems like I'm not the only one with a naughty little guilty pleasure here who enjoys laughing at unhinged creeps. So the woman here has been talking to this fine, gentle sir from Bumble, and she asks him, I guess I'm just wondering what your expectations are from a partner. He goes, like, in terms of expectations from women? Or men, I don't know how you swing. And he goes, women, not men. He uses 2 periods here, so it feels like this was, like, very serious to him. He put his foot down on that one, so there would be no confusion. So then she says, lol, okay, then yeah, what are your expectations for your girlfriend, wife, whatever?
Can I be honest about it? It might be seen as outdated or something, haha. To which he says, yeah, of course, this is a judgment-free zone.
It's almost cute to imagine him typing that, like, can I be honest about it? And then she has to reassure him, like, yeah, of course, this is a safe space for a super special Sigma like you. And she's about to unleash the demon with that one. She doesn't know what deal with the devil she just made here. Now, while she might not be judging him, I certainly will be. I'm be judging this motherfucker like dread. I'm gonna charge him with the capital offense of cringe here, because it's about to get brutal.
So he spills his guts. Honestly, I'm looking for a traditionally feminine woman, someone who isn't going to mind being the child rearer and homemaker, someone who's going to take care of her appearance and herself and just all around is content to be a female in our relationship. I know that's pretty anti-feminist or whatever, but it's just how I feel. Lol. So he expresses his preference when it comes to a relationship and a partner, and all power to you. I believe this is something called tradwife, a term I just recently learned with this post going viral. So forgive me if I'm not 100% familiar with the nomenclature here or what it means, but based on what I've read, it refers to like a stay-at-home partner who will cook, clean, and take care of the children. Basically anything you used to see in old black and white television shows when it comes to the family dynamic is what tradwife refers to. It even stands for traditional wife, I think. So he's just expressing that that's what he's looking for here, and she responds very positively to it, saying, oh, slay, I don't think that's anti-feminist or outdated at all. To be honest, that's pretty similar to what I want too, lol. Kind of my dream if I'm being honest. And he goes, really? Well, ruh-oh, Raggy, we've got ourselves a real match made in heaven. These two are sounding perfect for each other. What they want out of a relationship and a partner seems to align wonderfully. So what could possibly go wrong here, right? I mean, how do you fuck this up? This is like fate bringing the two perfect soulmates together from the sound of things. So she goes even further. She's excited. She goes, yeah, double exclamation point. She's fucking pumping her fist here. I'd love to be able to focus on making my house a home, working on myself, and just be taken care of without having to stress about expenses or money. And then here's where it starts to go tits up. What do you mean? There's cracks in the ship. It's starting to sink. He's got his monocle on. He's about to start investigating, interrogating. He's entering fight-or-flight mode because something here went awry in his eyes, and he's not too happy about it. So she explains, just that I'd love a traditional man who's going to cover my expenses and make sure I'm getting what I want. Someone who brings that kind of masculine energy. And he goes, so you're looking for a guy who isn't going to mind buying you whatever you want and basically will just bankroll your whole life? She's like, I don't know if I'd put it like that. I think you're starting to see where this is going. You're about to see the fork in the road and we're going down the path to Insano style. So you're a gold digger / user, basically. And she goes, we're like someone who will take care of our family financially so I can take care of him and his kids, etc. And she goes, no, LMAO, I promise, referring to not being a gold digger. How is that any different from you wanting your girlfriend / wife to take care of the home and their kids? Feels like a double standard for you to call me a gold digger. Now let's break this down here and follow the breadcrumbs of his logic. So he wants a stay-at-home wife that will take care of the kids, cook, clean, do laundry, wipe his ass, wipe his tears when he fails his bronze to silver promos in League of Legends for the 50th time in a row. But when she expresses that she'd want a traditional masculine husband that would be working and providing financially for both her and the household, he takes a big issue with that. He starts wiggling his finger. Well, actually, I shouldn't have to do those things. You're a gold digger for expecting that of me. And that doesn't make a whole lot of sense because as the initial tweet points out, he wants a traditional wife without him being a traditional husband. He then goes into a full soiled diaper temper tantrum meltdown. It's not a double standard. It's different because the things that I'm looking for, emotionally stable, takes care of herself, good with kids, are inherently female traits. Good women naturally have that stuff. You're looking for some rich guy who can buy you stuff. That's not naturally part of being a guy, it's totally different. I mean, especially because of how expensive life is in general these days, you think I'm going to be able to afford a $500,000 house on one salary just so you can play dress up and not have to worry about a job? You expect to not contribute to the bills or the cost of living? Fuck you. I knew there was something wrong with you. No wonder you tried to humiliate me at the restaurant. I should have left right then and there. I would bet a large amount of money that that humiliation he's referring to is something extremely trivial that nobody else in the world in their right mind would actually take as disrespectful. I actually guarantee what it is she asked if she could split the bill with him or maybe provide tip on their date at the restaurant. And when she said that, he's like, "Oh, my pride! You think I'm broke? You've humiliated me and the whole restaurant knows it now." But anyway, let's go through this whiny wiener's diary. So he starts, no. Listen here, harlot. These are inherently female traits. Being good with kids, emotionally stable, those kind of things. Being rich is not an inherently male trait. You just want some rich Chad that can buy you everything you want so you can suck all his money out. You expect me to buy you a $500,000 house on a one salary income and you don't have to worry about getting a job so you can just stay at home and play dress up? Which is a wild point to try and make because you are literally asking her to do that. You are telling her you want her to be a trad wife, a stay-at-home partner, and then you're just shitting on her for being a stay-at-home partner, just boiling it down to, you're just at home playing dress up. So you're like belittling her for what you want her to do, blaming her for not contributing to bills or the cost of living or anything when you are literally talking about how you want an angel that'll just be a stay-at-home trad wife. Like, I don't know how he can expect her to be a stay-at-home partner, taking care of kids, clothes, laundry, the household, the day-to-day activities, all of that, and also still having a job on top of it too to provide for herself as well as you. That makes no sense. You'd have to take on the role of the provider. You'd have to put on your big boy pants and really tighten your bootstraps to get a job that would allow you to live that lifestyle because you would have to provide that in order for your wife to be able to do those things. Because with the expectations you have of her that you express here, she would not be able to get a job on top of all of that as well to help out. That's why the trad wife model also needs the trad husband on top of it that would be providing it. But he is right about one thing. It is nearly impossible to afford a house on a one salary income in today's climate. This is actually something we've talked about quite a bit on stream recently, but the cost of living right now is fucking tragic. It is unbelievably expensive. You'd have better luck winning a house from a game show like Deal or No Deal than being able to afford one with just a one salary income. Because the prices are ridiculous right now. It's fucking horrible. So he is right that it'd be unlikely that with just him working, he'd be able to buy a house for his family. But in that case, he would need to understand that his partner would also be working as well to help with that, thus wouldn't necessarily be able to provide all the trad wife things that he would expect of his partner. So she responds saying, "My guy, chill out, because he is having a conniption right now. I never said I was looking for a rich guy or a 500k house or anything like that, just that I want a guy who can take care of me, especially if I'm raising his kids. How can your dream woman be the homemaker and child rearer if she's also working full-time to pay the bills? I have absolutely no issue with gender roles or division of labor in a relationship, but you're not looking for a traditional woman. You're looking for a maid and nanny who can also help pay your bills." And she is right on the money with that one. Absolutely fucking cooked him with it. That is exactly what he's pretty much describing at this point. He's not really even looking for a trad wife. He's looking for a fucking sex robot, basically, that can double as a basically nanny. So someone who's going to take care of the kids, take care of the entire household, but then he can still come home and stick his pathetic cock in and then call it a night with a brewski and passing out on the couch. And this is when the wheels fully come off. Fuck you! Just say you were only interested in me for my money. Next time you match with some sucker, tell him that up front so he doesn't waste his time with you. And then she says, "I paid for last night, my dude." So that must be the humiliation he's referring to. She paid for the meal that they ate together, and he still is fuming about it. He's still just fucking steam coming out of his ears about it. And then she goes, "What do you mean interested in you for your money? Shut the fuck up. My comp sci degree is gonna do way more for me than your business one ever will, bitch. Now I know why you're getting a finance degree. Probably so you can scout out the rich guys and try and steal their money." And she just goes, "If you're gonna curse me out and call me gold digger because I want a traditional man even though you want a traditional woman, Something tells me you're not the type of guy I'm looking for. Lose my number, but I hope you have a good life. I really feel like behind his text messages, I can sniff the tears in his eyes. Like after he sent that final text message there, he threw his phone down and screaming and wailing into the bathroom where he locked himself in there for the next half an hour to calm down, splashing water on his face. These two, in the beginning, seemed to be perfectly in line with what they wanted out of a partner. This felt like a great match here, and yet Goofball was able to snatch defeat from the jaws of victory here, driving her as far away as possible, frightening her, and revealing that he is a massive, unhinged lunatic and a big old creep. Like, what in the world? She even paid for their dinner last night, too, and then he still had the gall to be like, you're only with me for my money. What? But the shamelessness still wasn't over yet. He came back later and then sent a message at 1:30 a.m. after all of this hoopla and just said, hey, you up right now? Trying to booty call the girl that he just had this embarrassing temper tantrum in front of. Hey, sometimes you gotta just shoot your shot, I guess, even after you make an absolute fool of yourself. I don't know what fantasy land he's living in that would make him think that would work. I don't know what he was expecting. Maybe he thought the Men in Black went and neuralized her or something, so she totally forgot about these text messages. But that was never going to pan out well there at the end. I don't know why he thought he might get some action from it. But yeah, I saw this floating around today and I just had to talk about it a little bit. I am so glued to these fucking awful text messages and like these awful dates and romance stories, man. I am in so deep on it. Anyway, that's about it. See ya. Nobody likes a cheater. Whether it's video games, sports, or relationships, it's one of those universally hated things by everyone across the globe, kind of like cockroaches. And in 2015, it was the worst recorded year in history to be a cheater, because that was the year of the infamous Ashley Madison data breach. Ashley Madison is a website that's used for facilitating cheating. Its slogan is "Life is short, have an affair," so it was mainly for married individuals to find people to cheat on their spouse with. And in 2015, they were hacked, and the hacking group threatened to release their users' identifying personal information, which would undoubtedly ruin their relationships once it was released to the public. The way I've always pictured this unfolding at the Ashley Madison headquarters is a lot like the climax of a CIA espionage spy movie or something, where like, oh my god, we're about to get burnt. All of our undercover operatives are about to have their identities leaked. But in this case, the secret identities are just shitty goobers that are cheating on their significant others behind their back. Now, Ashley Madison did survive this. The users came flocking back, probably because they had nowhere else to go since their relationships burned to the ground under their own hand and their own sins. And that brings us to today. Ashley Madison plays a central role in the story I want to cover. This is an exchange between a 26-year-old woman and her 28-year-old boyfriend, and she just found out that he had an Ashley Madison account 6 months ago, and this is her confronting him with that cold, hard fact. So she sends a screenshot of Ashley Madison, to which he responds, huh? Like a cartoon character. Like in my head, the way he said that is like Tim the Toolman Taylor out of Home Improvement. Huh? And then she just goes, nice. And then his response is 2 laughing crying emojis, what's up? He uses the laughing crying emojis a lot during this conversation. It must be not only his favorite emoji, but his favorite thing in the world. He can't stop laughing and crying here. He's like the fucking Joker or something, I guess. Because every single thing he says throughout here uses those emojis pretty much. It is so fucking annoying. Just an absolute insufferable douchebag. So she says, you tell me, and he goes, tell you what? He's trying to play dumb like he has no idea what's going on. Ashley who? Like, he's acting like he's been hit by the orb of confusion out of SpongeBob. It's fucking ridiculous. She clearly knows what you've done. Like, I don't know why he's even trying this angle. Like, he's too stupid to process what's going on. You've lost your mind, babe. What is all this about, huh? What's all this commotion, this mumbo jumbo? She clearly knows. It's fucking annoying reading this guy's text messages. Like, it reminds me of when I played that AI interrogation detective game where you just get nowhere when talking to the AI because it's not quite sophisticated enough, so you get locked in an endless loop. She is speaking to a brick wall of stupid. And then she just goes, or don't, I don't care, I'm done. And his response to it is just truly unhinged. So he goes, LMAO, because you know he can't stop laughing about it. He is cracking up right now, slapping his knee. This is the best comedy he's ever seen in his life. What are you going on about? Period got you tripping? That is fucking wild. So he's trying to, like, gaslight her or make her feel like she's insane for even thinking Ashley Madison had anything to do with him in any way. He's trying so hard to try and, like, push this on her, like, oh, wow, did you forget to take your normal pills today, babe? Oh, goodness gracious. Here, let me go get your prescription here so you can come back to reality instead of whatever fantasy you're in here about, Ashley Madison. I don't know what that is. Like, this is... What's happening here? What's going on? Your period come up or something? You're delusional. So she replies, no, and then he goes, and then are you going to explain what you sent me? What do you mean? You clearly know what she sent you. Fuck, it's so frustrating just reading this guy's texts. So she goes, there's really nothing for me to explain? You're the one playing dumb. Immediately calling his bluff on this, he is legitimately just playing the dumbest man on the planet right now. And he continues to double down on it. Playing dumb about what? I'm confused. And then she goes, you're not confused, lol, and then drops his username, I think, and I can only make out the last part of it, but there's a 10 in there. I'm guessing because every other variation of his favorite Xbox gamer tag was taken, so he had to throw on some numbers at the end. So not only was he at least trying to cheat on his girlfriend, he was doing it under the screen name that a 12-year-old would use in World of Warcraft. That's so fucking cringe, Jesus. And then he goes, laughing, crying emoji. Wasn't that one of those websites you tried to join when you were looking for a sugar daddy? And I said, fine, I'm gonna look for a sugar mama then. Laughing, crying emoji. Now, that little tidbit of lore is never addressed in the text messages again because he double texted her right after that. So, the original poster expanded on it in the comments. Apparently, this was a joke the two of them made a while ago about her looking for a sugar daddy and him looking for a sugar mama. But she allegedly never did anything with that, and she assumed he also didn't do anything with that because it was just a joke they shared, and this seems like a desperate attempt from him to try and weasel out some kind of explanation for why he'd be on Ashley Madison and tried to tie it into that. I didn't do anything wrong, asshole, LMAO. I most definitely wouldn't need a website to meet girls. This guy's such a giga-chad pussy slayer, he doesn't need technology to meet women. Fuck, he could just go outside right now and get drowned in sodden panties that would be tossed to him the second he opened his door. Obviously. So then she says, no, it wasn't, and you still did, and paid for it too. And then he hits her with another laughing, crying emoji. I don't think I ever had a conversation with anyone on there. It's full of bots. Definitely never met with anyone. How would you know it's full of bots if you didn't try and converse with people on there? You played yourself. You immediately just fucking showed your whole hand. You absolutely must have used the service to know that it's full of bots. And you must have paid for it in order to access the service as well. Like, checkmate. You did it to yourself. You left yourself wide open to the scholars, mate. Also, it's important to call attention to the fact that he called her an asshole for her bringing this to him. Craziness. Craziness. That doesn't make a difference. You still wanted to cheat enough to pay to do it. Laughing, crying emoji. Babe, if I wanted to cheat, I promise you I would not need to use a website. And she says, yet you still did. And then here it comes. My intentions were not to cheat. And then, of course, she realizes that's a load of baloney there. That's a bunch of fucking horseradish. So she says that is literally the entire purpose of the site. There's no other intention. Please stop trying to make it seem less bad. I know you didn't really care for me. There is no other intention you can have on Ashley Madison besides trying to fuck somebody else. Like, what were you on there for? Looking for a League of Legends duo partner? Like, there's nothing else you could be doing on Ashley Madison. What else would the intention be? You needed someone to grade your poetry or something? Like, there is nothing else. And he knows that it's an impossible angle that he's trying to play here because he doesn't even bother trying to expand on it. No, listen, darling, my intentions weren't to cheat. In fact, they were actually quite noble, and here's why. Like, he didn't even bother. He's just like, hey, I wasn't there to cheat. Just take my word for it. So he finishes it off by saying, doesn't mean that was my intentions though, but LMAO, babe. I definitely care about you, jackass. Like, he's trying to be, like, somewhat playful about it and try and, like, minimize the severity of what he's done or attempted to do. He's just like, LMAO, babe. You jackass. You silly salamander. Oh my goodness. Pumpkin pie. Come on. You know I care about you. I was just thinking about how I missed you earlier before you called. I couldn't cheat on you, honey. I was actually just thinking about you right before you called. Like, I was actually thinking about you. How could I possibly have cheated on you if I just thought of you, right? Like, come on, you're being ridiculous. Calm down, come on. It's not a big deal. A super innovative and interesting strategy from him that did not pan out well at all. This is where the relationship ended. Cheating will usually put the kibosh on a relationship, as well it should. So yeah, I just wanted to kind of share this story with all of you here. That's about it. So yeah. Here's something I haven't done in a long time. A text thread. This puppy is something Matt sent me this morning and it's special. It is irresistible. I have to yap about it. A guy had been seeing a girl he matched with on Hinge for like 2 weeks. They'd only hung out a couple of times, but he wasn't really enjoying her company all that much, and instead of just ghosting her and disappearing, decided to just rip the band-aid off and put in his 2 weeks notice, you know, like, I'm resigning from this, we had some good times, but, you know, we need to go our separate ways into the sunset here. And all hell broke loose. It was a pretty respectable message. Hey, I'm realizing we're not aligned in ways that matter to me. I'd rather be honest now than keep moving forward when I don't see it working out long term. Very concise, to the point, it's not rude, very simple. And man, that hit like the meteor to the dinosaurs here. Oh, well, okay. I hope you find what you're looking for, I guess. Me thinking I found my person and you don't even feel the same, LMAO. He just says, same to you. Now I'm sad. Block me. All because I want to tell you conspiracies, and I want kids. Now, you know me, I love conspiracies like Garfield loves lasagna, but there comes a point where it's just overwhelming. This individual here, she's not just wanting to tell him conspiracies, she is obsessed with conspiracies. She lives and breathes conspiracies out the wazoo. You're about to see just like a flood of unhinged, like, lore dumping. She starts trying to give this guy homework on conspiracies. She then gets into anime monologuing territory. It's also been 5 days and people change. Life changes, circumstances change, but war never changes. And you know what else doesn't change? Once you reach a certain age, that is, your height. Isn't that a damn shame? I actually felt something with you, which isn't something that happens often, but you know what you want from your person, I guess. I don't know why I'm reading this like AI. It's first thing in the morning. Now we can actually fight. Thank God. It's about time we could actually fight. Woo! Yeah! What a weird thing to throw in there. That's what I get for liking a lib. I'm upset because what the fuck? Fix your feelings, I don't care. Men and their illusion of options. Yes, you see, there's only one option, and it's her. All roads lead back to this angel. I told you at dinner I like to talk out my ass when it comes to conspiracies. I thought I fell in love with you when I came over, and the entire time you didn't even want me there. That's delusion, and that's okay. God, that's like just scary, the fixation, like how quickly that can happen. I thought I fell in love with you when they've only hung out like a handful of times over the course of 2 weeks. Thank you for your time, LMAO. I am again done dating for a few months. Our week pictures. I can't quite make out what that's supposed to be. It looks like the inside of a dishwasher. I don't know if they shrunk themselves down on Miss Frizzle's school bus or something and took an adventure inside of a dishwasher, but that's what it looks like to me. I'm not really sure, but she sends like some pictures to commemorate the great times they had together. And now I have to take down and restart my hair, because why am I literally doing it pink like you wanted? And I have to kill you on Sims. That's one of those big red flags right there. There's a lot to unpack with just that one line. Now I have to kill you on Sims. That's that psycho shit, like ripping the wings off a butterfly. So, first of all, she made him in Sims, after barely knowing him. Kinda weird. Really odd. I guess she was like planning their lives together through Sims to see if it's something that she, you know, is ready to, you know, get ripping and roaring on. And now that it's gone south, she's going to have to execute and murder him on The Sims. I imagine there will be torture involved too. Just a hunch. Just a hunch. A girl that actually likes you is too much, LMAO. Anyways, I'll see you Saturday. I love that. After all this, it's like, okay, so now that you're done being stupid about this whole, like, we don't align type of thing, I'm gonna see you on Saturday, isn't that right? I will see you Saturday. Don't you forget it. I will see you Saturday. Yes, I killed you on The Sims, but I had to do what I had to do. It doesn't mean I don't want to see you on Saturday. We're still soulmates. We're meant to be together. You know that. I like you. You know that. And you don't have a choice. It's an illusion of options. First day you didn't see me in a row and I got my man taken. Well, man didn't get taken. Man just came to his senses. This is all very concerning stuff. Like, it is what it is. He was upfront with you about it. He didn't ghost you. And, man, I gotta tell you, I think overall this response to it is showing that maybe this just wasn't the right fit. Telling me to keep you just for you to leave. I'm sorry for blowing you up, but I'm just a deeply loyal person. I don't see what we don't agree on. And even then, why do we have to agree on everything? We're human with our own lifestyles and experiences. I'm so sad. While I'm sensitive and bleeding isn't nice, could have waited 2 days when I'm back to being myself. And then she puts a screenshot from another match she had on Hinge, where she's talking about the Mossad and the CIA, which I'm not really sure what that has to do with what's going on here. But she does provide it regardless, I guess, as like some parting ways reading to brush up on if you want the real. This is why I hate liberal men, because why are you more sensitive than me? Well, I think him sending one message about like, hey, it's not working out, I don't really love us together, and then you having 45 messages over the course of like an hour and a half, it doesn't seem like he's more sensitive at all, actually. That's kind of a weird projection, to be honest. That's a bit of a reach. I'll give you one day of space. I'll see you tomorrow, caps locked. She's gonna be in like a fucking tree with binoculars looking at him, spying or something. Smiley face. Yeah, I don't care. You're either with me or we're together. Those are your only two options. Oh, fuck. About to kidnap him or something. It reminds me of that hat. You're either drinking 14 beers with me, or you're drinking 14 beers against me. You're cute, smart, laugh at all my jokes, easy to talk to, I like your hands and your arms, and your weird nerdiness. Okay, I have shit to do, but still, count your days. Literally one, but yeah. Okay, bye, have a good day. And then she drops some more screenshots here. This one's about Jewish tradition and Jewish banking, so it's becoming a full-blown Twitter thread here, and it goes on for a little while. Then she starts sending these, all of this over the course of 2 minutes, so it's all saved to her phone, and I'm actually so fucking hilarious, and I wanted to cook for you and love you forever, blocking your blessings, and I give immaculate head. Shit, wait a minute, hold on. We may have been too hasty here. That ought to make him rethink everything. We can now disregard the previous 66 messages that have come through here, and maybe we can at least reevaluate this relationship. That's quite the Hail Mary. And I'm a trust fund kid with VA benefits because both my parents are retired and on 100% disability. Lol, okay, I'm done now. Your loss for sure. What in tarnation? What kind of... What? I don't even know what to say about that section there. Have fun with bitches that don't like you and that aren't funny or pretty or won't want to do anything for you. I was OTP with my best friend. I don't know what OTP stands for. In League of Legends, that's one trick pony, but that doesn't really fit here. But whatever. I was OTP with my best friend, literally telling her how much I liked you when you sent that message. Because what the fuck? But I know we're never gonna see each other again, so it's all good, friend. I hope your date goes well. Actually, I hope she's ugly. And loves the white savior complex. I caught feelings way too fast. My fault for sure. I'm glad you feel safe. That's good. You could have warned me. Literally, if you haven't blocked me, I don't know. I'm gonna keep going until I feel better. I don't need a response or anything. I feel really defeated. But it could really just be me on my period. I was so ready to lock in. Actually, I did. See, this is why you always have multiple men. But I didn't want multiple, I wanted one. I want to be a stay-at-home mom in the woods with a garden and my bakery. But you don't have just one man. You just sent a screenshot like 10 minutes ago of you talking to another guy on Hinged about Mossad. Like, what do you mean? You definitely are talking to multiple men. But I guess this was her favorite. You want to live in the city with no kids and be 50-50 with whomever. So I get that. But the last bitch you were with, you tricked for, and I didn't even want that. What does that mean, you tricked for? I'm not familiar. Like, what do you do? Hit it like a kickflip or something to impress her? I'm not positive. But, like, even she's confirming that they want, like, different things. Like, it should be, like, a really amicable split here. And I'm calling it a split, but they're not dating. They hardly know each other. They're just, like, a step above strangers. Didn't even give you anything. Or maybe you lied. I wanted a partnership. And you want... I don't even know, actually. It's okay. I'm too pretty to be doing this. Have a good day. Especially when we have everything in common. Do you have any friends that like Mario and being in love? Mario's like one of the most well-known property of all time. I bet he has tons of friends that like Mario. And as far as being in love goes, it's like a basic human desire that 99% of the world also feels and wants. So yeah, I would say, I don't know this guy, but I would say with high confidence he probably has a lot of friends that like Mario and being in love. Just a hunch. And, like, obsessive conspiracy theorists. Yeah, see, like, conspiracy theory and yapping about it's, like, really entertaining and enjoyable, but when it becomes a full-blown obsession where it's, like, all you think about and all you talk about, it's no longer fun anymore. So, like, that's not a good thing. That's a negative. I do need a response, actually. You haven't blocked me. Why are you letting me still text you? Close the door and move forward with someone mediocre. That's more your speed. I'm just gonna say you have a shrimp dick and move on. I feel better now. Well, that's good. I'm happy to hear that. I'm glad they were both able to reach a point where they feel better about all of this. And then she comes back a few hours later. Hey, I just wanted to apologize. I'm not used to meeting good men, so I thought it was too good to be true, so I tried to scare you off. I realize I messed up, and if it's okay with you, I want another chance, even if we're just cool for now. If not, it's okay too. You're an amazing man, honestly. I know that's quite a cliffhanger to be left on, but according to the guy who posted this, he did end up blocking her after that apology. So it's seeming like they're not going to be seeing too much of each other anymore. Probably for the best, they don't seem super compatible. I am sure she will find someone that she can spit conspiracy theories back and forth on. Now is the perfect day and age for that. She could probably find 10,000 men through Twitter right now that would absolutely love her. This just wasn't, you know, the right choice here. They weren't meant for each other, and that's okay. I don't think you need over 100 messages when, A, you don't even know the person very well, you've only seen them like a couple of times, and B, it's just not that deep. Like, it's seriously just not that deep. Anyway, though, that's really about it. So, yeah.
These are without a doubt the craziest text messages I've ever covered, and I know that might be hard for some of you to believe considering all of the wackos we've gone over, but trust me, this takes the cake of lunacy. They are so outrageous that I at one point threw my hands in the air and said, enough is enough, fiddlesticks, this is fake. It has to be fake. It's too ridiculous. So I did a little bit of digging and it seemed other people also thought that they might be fake. So after going through the evidence they compiled, it turns out that this is most likely real. The person that these posts seem to originate from actually did show up apparently in some court documents confirming a divorce. So from what I can tell here, it does seem like these are real, and the story here is legitimate, which is so fucking sad. And the man in these messages needs to be confined to Arkham Asylum ASAP. Dude needs his own personal padded cell, and you're about to see why. All of this hoopla starts because a mother breastfed her child. The husband says, "You've been breastfeeding? You know how I fucking feel about that." She replies, "What time are you coming back?" He says, "I don't know if I am." She says, "Why, are you mad at me?" "Yes." "What did I do? It's just the breastfeeding?" "That. The feelings it gives me and how I finally understand that you truly don't respect me." And she says, "I do respect you. I just thought we could compromise about the breastfeeding. Talk about it. If you don't like seeing it, maybe I can just do it in a different room." Weirdo's mad because the mother of his child is breastfeeding that child. Is there a worse possible reason on this planet for anger? I can't think of a single reason any sane human being would be upset about something like that. Unless it's like some kind of crazy situation like, hey honey, I just got some phone calls from some concerned parents. Apparently you tried to breastfeed our son Geronimo at the football game. He's 15 years old. Maybe it's about time we wean him off of that. We're scaring the other parents here. But this, they're talking about a newborn baby. She's still in the hospital with the newborn. He continues, well, we didn't talk about it, you just did it. And it's not about seeing it, I know it's happening. I'm done. Done? Let me know when you're being discharged and I'll be there. Like, you're divorcing me? You go behind my back and do something I've stressed about not doing. That's no different than lying and shows how little you respect me. I wasn't meaning to disrespect you, I just wanted to give Wilder breast milk since he was born early, and I know it's the best thing for him with the antibodies and other stuff he'll get from it. The only thing wilder than that name is the husband's brain-rotted brain. Absolute delusion here to be making a huge stink about her breastfeeding a newborn. So, the name Wilder, and you're about to see they actually have another child named Hunter, spelled with a Y. Those two names really set off my bullshit alarms, like, it was really giving me the heebie-jeebies of, this is fucking fish paste, this is baloney. But again, from what I've seen with what people have found, because the original poster and everything, people did a lot of super sleuthing, from what's been put out there, it does seem like it's legitimate. He continues his rampage, saying he's not a preemie, he was born at full term, it's still unneeded, he's still bigger than I was when I was born, and you could have always asked the nurses for a pump. It's a proven scientific fact that breast milk is no better than modern formula. He's wrong about that, by the way. Modern formula is fine for women that don't want to breastfeed or can't. I decided to fact check that claim, do a little research on it. Turns out it's not a scientific fact. You know what is a scientific fact, though? That this man is clinically insane. So keep in mind, I am not a breast milk scientist. I'm not a connoisseur of boob juice, I'm not the lactation lord, but from the bits and pieces I read about breast milk versus formula, it seems that breast milk is still the most recommended way of getting nutrients to your baby, if possible. She says, I know, but the benefits of the breast milk still outweigh the formula. Latching helps drop the milk better than the pumps. He says, yeah, the benefits to where I'll never be able to look at you the same way again. She's confused, as everyone listening and reading this is right now, scratching their head wondering what the fuck is wrong with this weirdo. She says, what do you mean? You think I'm a bad mom for breastfeeding? And he says, I think you're a bad wife. I think you don't respect me. I think you took a joy away from me. I think a lot of things. Took a joy from you? I don't understand what you mean. Formula can still be used. And this is where he drops the bombshell. He reveals where all of this anger and hostility comes from. I enjoy your boobs. Now they've been in another man's mouth. I now no longer enjoy your boobs. He goes Neanderthal mode. Boob sucked by baby. Boob no good to me now. No want tit no more. His own child he views as competition because his newborn son suckled his mother's bosom for milk. The most natural thing throughout human history. And somehow this psychopath thinks that his newborn has now tainted his wife's boobs and he can no longer enjoy them, saying that they were in another man's mouth. Wait until he finds out where that baby came from, because that baby came out of his wife's vagina. Well, actually, I guess that's not true. I bet there is a non-zero chance that this unhinged maniac forced his wife to get a C-section, so that way her vagina wasn't ruined by another man. I bet there's actually a really high likelihood that that's exactly what happened. And that's scary. This dude is so fucking red-pilled, he won't even let his own newborn son touch his wife's body. I bet he also wouldn't even let his wife change their son's diapers, because he views them as competition. He'd bust into the room, I know what you did, bitch! You looked at another man's wiener when you changed Wilder's diaper, didn't you? And just starts profusely crying, probably calls her like a cheater or something if she changes their son's diapers. This guy is so mentally unwell, I was stunned. Like I said, I couldn't believe this was real. She tries to talk sensibly to him. Just Wilder's, not another man. Their baby. Their actual baby goo goo gaga infant is who we're talking about here, not a man. He views an actual, like, 2-day-old as a man? What the fuck? But anyway, he says, he's a male, and your son. That makes it incestuous in my eyes. And she says, it's not like that at all. And then he goes, I'm not saying anything I haven't told you before. So this man was probably riddled with red flags for a long time in this relationship, and now he is just breaking, just melting down. That's definitely one of the most unhinged things I've probably ever seen anyone try and say. That breastfeeding your own child is incestuous. There are so many things wrong with that. I don't even know where to begin. It is so shockingly stupid. This guy needs to be put away. He needs to be institutionalized. ASAP. Dude must think that all the days pre-baby formula, so, you know, the thousands of years BF before formula, it was all just incest with people breastfeeding their newborns. This guy is so dangerously disconnected from reality, it is scary. He is a loose cannon on the edge that is snapping. I'm going to spoil a little bit here and just let you know, he divorces his wife over her breastfeeding their child. Just let that marinate for a second. Sit and stew in it. That is insane. That is crazy. Let me pose a question to this individual. I blanked out his name, but I really want to call him by name. But I'd love to pose a question to him. Does he realize how fucking degenerate this is, and how much of a pervert you must be to view a newborn baby as a man that is a competition to you? And it's not even like a random baby either. Not like that would make it excusable. Like, anyone who would go out there and view a baby as competition because they're getting breastfed is very fucked in the head. But this is another level of fucked because it's his own child. He fucking blew that load into the world. This is his DNA in there. And he immediately views it as some kind of like sexual competition with his own kid. That's so weird. He is a menace. He is a menace. She leaves out some of the conversation here. I imagine it got way too personal with some of the information that was conveyed. But it starts here saying, I wasn't playing. She says, I know. You are a bitch for making matters worse. I'm sorry you feel that way towards me. I doubt they're gonna let me bring y'all home, so good luck finding out or figuring out a way to make that happen. I just felt it would be okay to breastfeed Wilder, and we could compromise a situation where you don't have to be in the room. You don't get it. I told you that with Hunter. Huntier. The way Hunter is spelled is so peculiar. Again, that's what really like made me put on my fedora and do a Reddit deep dive on where this picture came from, who posted it, and if it was real, because these two names really just make it seem like it's like rage bait or some kind of joke. But again, like there is quite a bit of evidence that points to it being legitimate. He continues, that was a compromise you made then, and I still feel the same way about it. After you heal and get on your feet and are able to afford your own place, move out. Until then, no matter how long it takes, the bedroom is all yours. I'll set up an air mattress in Wilder's room tomorrow. Letting this fungus anywhere near their child seems like a recipe for disaster. He already views Wilder, his newborn son, as competition. Him staying in the same room as Wilder, I think, is just a terrible, terrible idea. Because it really does seem like he thinks that his wife has cheated on him now by breastfeeding their son. Like, he's calling her, like, you know, disrespectful, doesn't have any respect for him and what he wishes because he told her not to breastfeed because now he can't enjoy her boobs anymore. It's all just ruined. It's all kaput. All because Wilder was breastfed by her. So I really think having him anywhere near these kids is a bad idea. Fuck you, we're done. I'm going to talk to a lawyer about 50-50 custody because no matter how much I hate you, I would never keep the boys from you. You can stay at the house for as ever long as you need. I'll sleep in Wilder's room. I'm gonna pause right there. You absolute goober. You goofball. You really think that you would get 100% of custody here? He's like, okay, since I'm such a benevolent saint, I will grant you 50-50 custody of our kids. Even though I hate you, you can see them sometimes, you disrespectful harlot. Brother, I'm gonna give you the truth here. Brace for the cold water. Here it comes. If anyone, especially a lawyer, saw these text messages as well as the threats that the hospital was made aware of, you would never be around these kids. Rightfully so. It's unsafe to have them around you. You are deranged. You are absolutely fucking filthy. So I don't know why he thinks he would get 50-50 custody, like that'd be his call to make. He replies to something she said that isn't in these screenshots. She said, "They made a report because of what happened the first night I stayed in the hospital." I'm guessing he exploded then too about something. And he replies saying, "Not what they said. They didn't know anything about last week. They said because you told them this morning you didn't feel safe with me in the room and wanted me to leave." And she says, "I just didn't want to fight over me breastfeeding. Fuck you. I told you when we fought over it with Hunter I would leave you if you did it." This has been like his worst nightmare, having a child that gets breastfed. This has to be, with no exaggeration, the most insecure man on the planet. Bar none. No one else would even come close. He is so insecure that he worries that his own flesh and blood is a threat to him because they get breastfed by his wife. Wow. So again, this is so over the top that I questioned its authenticity. And as sad as it is, it seems like it's real. And he, from what I can see, was the one to start pushing forward, like, the divorce. Like, that's the best thing for the mother and her children, 100%, and I'm sure she'll realize that down the line. It's probably very difficult right now. But, man, this guy is bad news. What a terrible piece of shit. I just had to talk about these. I was blown away by what I was reading going through this. I just had to share it. That's really about it. Awful situation. I'm wishing the best for the mother and the kids here. And the best thing that can happen with this guy is he gets put in a straitjacket and goes somewhere far, far away. Because I don't know how you even fix that perspective. This guy is so lost in the sauce, there is no getting him back. It's insalvageable. So yeah, that's really about it. See ya. The specimen I'm about to expose you to is extraordinarily cringe, like this SCP weirdo that I'm about to unleash before your eyes. But I want you to take this as an inspirational motivator because somehow this goober was able to get into a serious relationship for the last 7 months. And if he can do it, anybody can. Alright, now let's begin our journey. This is a 26-year-old woman communicating with her 29-year-old boyfriend. Now, the previous night they had an argument, which we'll get into in a moment because it's crucial to the lore here of what unfolds. Now, this is the next day. She says, "Had some honey chicken with rice and broccoli from blank. How about you?" He responds with a Naruto gif, which is already an incredible start here, and goes, "That sounds good. I had a muffin and cheese lol, by the way. The call yesterday really sucked, but the New Year's Eve call was very nice." She says, "I know lol." And then for some reason he decides to pour salt in the wound. He just digs the knife a little deeper, letting her know that it was probably the worst call he's had, lol. To which she responds, "Alrighty. Well, that makes me feel great. I'm heading to bed. Love you, good night." For some reason he thought it was a good idea just to remind her how much he disliked talking to her last night about what they were discussing. Oh man, that call last night, that was the pits. Jesus Christ, am I right, you fucking harpy? Last night's call was horrible. The New Year's Eve call was a little bit better, but goodness gracious, heavens to Betsy, the call before that, fucking atrocious. And then he'll probably drop another Naruto gif. This time it's like an Itachi one casting a genjutsu. Don't ever do it again. But anyway, the argument they had on the call before these text messages was about her mentioning that she might want to try shrooms at some point. It was basically talking about drugs and how she's not interested in drugs, but the only one she has even an iota of interest in trying is shrooms, like one time. And he took a very hard stance against that. Like it was like he was a fucking DEA agent here. I'll drop the information right here if you want to pause and read it, but the gist of it is, she mentioned that shrooms at least sounded somewhat interesting to try at some point, though she was never really being serious about it, and if she ever did want to try it, she said that she would talk to him about it first before doing anything. It wasn't going anywhere, and eventually she just said, "You're right, I'm wrong, sorry," and tried to move on from the whole conversation. But it looks like that was never in the cards. It's weighed heavy on the mind of her boyfriend, who brings it up out of the blue again, just to remind her how awful the conversation was. In the follow-up message, he decides to just go whole hog and let it all hang out here to just reignite this argument. He says, yes, I say wrong stuff to you sometimes. I know I make mistakes, but not this time. I stand by what I said yesterday, and this time you were in the wrong. But I'm heading to bed. I love you. Good night. And she reminds him, like, hey, we fully discussed this last night. There was no reason to bring it up again except to attempt to make me feel bad. Just because you're in a bad mood doesn't mean you should try to bring me down with you. She's 100% right. They had already discussed it. There is no reason to keep doing this again, this song and dance. Just let it be. But he just can't do that. I know, but this is serious shit. And then he censors the word shit. He puts stars on his swear word like he's a 12-year-old in Twitch chat that has the language filter on. This is a 29-year-old man who is censoring the word shit. And we've only just begun with the exceptionally wacky stylings of this 29-year-old fucking goober. If you use any substitute, I am done with you. And I'm sorry I say this because I care about you too much and you're much worth more. And you're much worth more. I don't, that's all over the place. I think he was just so angry. I mean, he dropped the word shit. You could tell his temper was flaring up. He used a naughty word, so I think he was just scrambling to say words in a panic. And then she just goes, I'm not talking about this. It's fine if you don't have the mouth of a sailor, but why censor it? Just don't even use the word. You could have said poop. This is some serious poop, milady. You're talking about drugs. Unacceptable. Why even bother censoring yourself? Oh, it's so cringe. And we've only just begun. She says there's no reason to go over this again. We talked about it. It's over. Drop it. Really just trying her best to move on from this because it's only going to get worse. But he's already too deep. He's already made his bed and it's time to piss his pants in it. Okay, but promised me you won't do it and I will drop the whole thing. She again reminds him, I already fucking told you I wouldn't do anything without talking to you first. Leave it alone. I'm done with this conversation. But it's just not registering in his mind. His neurons are just firing and he's going into flight or fight mode and he's fighting his own demons here. Don't get angry at me just because you had a drug problem in past. That's not my problem. That's your problem. Which is a crazy fucking thing to say to your significant other. Jesus. And she goes, bro, you're being dense right now. Just shut up and leave it alone. This isn't a conversation to be had over text, and we already talked about it on the phone. Just drop it, dude. Now, if you pause to read the explanation for the context around these messages, you'll know that the drug problem he's referring to is her smoking weed when she was 19, and the one time she tried cocaine. That's the drug problem to this guy. He speaks as if he's like a 14-year-old boy who just had a class on Dare, and now he is scared. He can't sleep anymore. He has to go to bed with one eye open and Narcan on the dresser next to him, just in case a burglar comes in and tries to force him to OD on drugs. Like drugs are out to get him and everyone he cares about. And he just keeps spiraling. You have to change that blank. He's literally beeping himself with a sensor. You have to change that beep, stupid attitude. And I'm not your beep, bro. And I'm not your beep, dude. Maybe that's why wow, that's hard to read. The grammatical catastrophe that he's unleashed upon my eyes is really fucking with my brain. I'm not your beep, dude. Maybe that's what you're call your beep friends. I don't give a beep. I'm not your beep friend. I'm not your beep. X is beep. Remember that. Like, what in the world is happening? This is the most childish text message I've ever seen in my life. It's like a kid melting down on League of Legends. This is a 29-year-old man. And he's speaking like this. He's a fucking boy. He's a baby boy. Why is he censoring his texts like this? Oh, it's so awful. It's so bad. I can't even parse what he's trying to say with his last statement there at the end. I'm not your fucking friend, which is, again, a wild thing to say to your significant other. You're supposed to be their best friend, basically. That's the whole point of being in the relationship, but whatever. But this is where it gets extraordinarily confusing. And I'm not your fucking ex's blank. Remember that. Your ex's what? Your ex's fuck? Remember that? Is that what he's saying? I don't know. What does that mean? And she says, I don't know what your problem is, but directing at me is not going to help. I'm not talking about this. I'm done responding for the night. Have a good one. And he just goes, we done. If you keep going. So full-blown caveman mode now. I will drop it now. Anyway, how's your day?
all of this into like immediately de-aggroing like an NPC in a video game, and he's like, oh, so how's your day? Did you have a good day today? I bet you did. I bet it's better now that you're talking to me, right? And then her response is, it was better before you started this. And then that once again sends him off. Well, that's your problem. I just don't want to crackhead girlfriend, and please don't call me bro. I'm not your stupid friends. What the crackhead girlfriend? What are you talking about? She mentioned that the only drug she'd be interested in trying is shrooms, and she wouldn't even actually do it because she doesn't have a real interest. That's just the only one that even sounded somewhat appealing. He's lost his marbles. He's off his gourd for this. And eventually she's like, just go to bed. You need a nap. You're not you when you're tired. And then he hits her with like a threat. It'll be really funny when you're 6 feet under. And she goes, oh boy, here we go again. And he says, anyway, enough of this. Now, I think he's referring to, you know, if you try drugs, you're dead instantly. You'll instantly die if a drug touches your body. It'll put you 6 feet under instantaneously. Like, I don't know if he's actually threatening that he'll put her 6 feet under, but that is kind of how it reads. But I think what he's trying to say is that the drugs are going to kill her, and he's the only one that can save her from going down this destructive path. Now, obviously, and here's a hot take, drugs aren't good for you. But what he's doing here is an outrageous overreaction, and the way he's treating his girlfriend is unacceptable. He's just yelling and screaming at her like it's an episode of fucking Scared Straight. All over her, going over a hypothetical of if she was to ever try a drug, she'd want it to be shrooms because that's the only one that sounds even somewhat interesting, but she doesn't even want to do it. She's not saying she's going to go do shrooms or anything like that. She's not going down this path to being a crackhead like he thinks she is. This is just ridiculous the way he's treating her over this. And don't even get me started on his potty mouth, all those nasty words he's been using here. But luckily for all of us, he's tastefully censored all of them for us. Clearly don't respect me, you think I'm a joke when I'm saying the truth. I wish just once you just listen to me. I think you're a joke, buddy. I'll say it. She won't, but I will. I think you are fucking cringe incarnate. She says, I'm listening. I'm just tired of you repeating it over and over when this whole thing was finished last night. Of course I don't want to hear it again. I dropped it. You should too. Leave it alone. And then he tries to play the saint again, like he's just looking out for her and it's all for her benefit. He's the angel. You know I say this because you are very important to me. Maybe no one tells you this, but I'm the first to tell you, and I always stick with my words. That's what I have to say, and I'm sorry if you hurt, but I had to say it. What a fucking hero. There's better ways of saying it, and apparently you'd already had this conversation the night before, and everything was settled then, but you just keep going. And she said, you didn't have to say it, lol, but okay, whatever makes you feel good. And now the demon comes back out again. Fuck do that. Beep attitude. I'm telling you, if you keep doing this, I'm trying to be understanding, but you give me beep disrespect. Answer, I'm done with you. Fuck off. This mumbo jumbo nonsense. Like, it's the episode of SpongeBob with the sailor words, basically, and he's censoring it in the text. It's so awful. And she goes, just remember you brought this up, you started, I told you I wasn't talking about it anymore, but you're pushing it, I don't know what else to tell you. She is trying so hard just to move on from this, like just give it up, just stop. Why does he keep going? Just stop. And then he drops another extremely mean, nasty insult, saying, no wonder your friend left you and your exes left you. What a huge piece of shit, just a horrible thing to say to anyone, let alone the person you are dating. And then she just goes, ouch, yeah, fuck you. And then he comes back with another confusing head scratcher. I was ready to drop it, but you keep fuck give me bitch, just stop now. What am I reading? What is that sentence? Oh man, oh brother, this guy stinks. And then he's like, ooh, that wasn't nice and I'm sorry. So he has an immediate change of heart within 2 minutes. And then he's like, he goes full apology mode here to try and save this, even though it's unsalvageable. This is where the relationship should end 100%. He goes, I'm sorry for being an beep. I should have never said that. That was my fault. I really apologize. And thankfully she shoots that garbage down. I really don't want to hear from you. Good night. And then he tries again to go really sweet talking, like, oh no, it's all a misunderstanding. Baby, I'm really sorry. That part I said, I didn't mean it. I'm really sorry. Anyway, baby, I'm so sorry. I should have thought more about your feelings, and at that time I wasn't thinking in that part I said was really not nice, but I love you.
So he signs off with yet another completely incomprehensible, dumb, stupid text. But at least there was no censoring in the last part. He didn't use any foul language that needed to be, censored, because he's a classy guy. He wouldn't want any of those yucky words being uncensored in these texts. But yeah, as far as I can tell, she is planning on leaving him, according to the comments, I think. She said she's not going to give him another chance to show this side of him, which is good because this relationship shouldn't continue past this point. That right there is the kibosh on it with the things he said about this. She didn't do anything wrong. She was just talking about a hypothetical. If she was to try a drug again, it would be shrooms because it's the only one that seems even somewhat interesting. But she even said multiple times she didn't want to, and she wasn't planning on it anytime at all, really. And this guy just had this crazy overreaction to it. So yeah, huge weirdo, big cringe guy. That's about it. So yeah. It's been a while since I've gone over diabolical texts, and today I've got a doozy for you. It's a maniac melting down over mayonnaise, blowing a gasket, going ballistic at his girlfriend because he believes that she has tampered with his mayonnaise, and even goes as far as to lightly accuse her of trying to poison him through this new state of matter that he found the mayonnaise in. He's a 46-year-old gentle sir, tip the fedora, who's a big mayonnaise enthusiast that really thinks he stumbled across a grand conspiracy here that his girlfriend is at the helm of. We begin our journey into madness. He says, "Funny how all the Hellmans is liquid state. Ideas?" This is clearly confusing to her because it reads like a fucking riddle. She says, "What? What does that mean?" "Lived on my own since '96. Never seen that. 2 separate bottles." I love the way he says that, lived on my own since '96. That's like some shit you'd hear from like some washed up loser who's like, "Yeah, as you know, I was the quarterback that led my high school football squad to the state championship in '98. Go Warthogs. I could have been pro if it wasn't for that damn case of athlete's foot." She then asks, "Are you talking about Mayo?" Which he responds saying, "Bravo. What a fucking douchebag. This guy is turbo dweeb." And then she says, "So we went all day not fighting, and you're ending the night fighting over Mayo. Okay." That's a pretty sad message because it sounds like they fight all the time. He then gets his monocle out and begins his interrogation, connecting the pieces of this puzzle like it's fucking LA Noire. "Super weird you disappeared when you dude. And both of them melted in the fridge. I have samples." This man's got the beakers out and he's mixing chemicals, testing the viscosity and the compounds within the mayo. She then reminds him that she doesn't eat mayonnaise and then asks what melted. And he just says, "Inver seen anything like it, going to bed." What in the world are you talking about? Great question. Try to answer tomorrow. Weirdo is speaking in riddles. The timeline is all cattywampus, so he's saying that it's odd she disappeared at some point. I don't know what he even meant by that. He said that she disappeared when dude. I don't know what that means, so I'm guessing he thinks that when she wasn't like in the room with him, she must have been contaminating the mayonnaise and liquefying it for some reason. What an unhinged theory from a dangerously stupid goober. I wonder if he also goes to the fridge and freaks out when he sees that his expired milk is a little chunky. Does he accuse his girlfriend of foul play then too? Like, "You harlot! You chunkified my milk! These are cyanide crystals in here! You want me dead!" Like, how can he be 46 years old and not understand that mayonnaise is an emulsification of oils and egg, and sometimes that shit can just separate? Mental break, I guess you're having. Nothing you're saying makes sense. First mayo, now something about melting? How's this? I use Hellman's mayo regularly, as you know. I know the viscosity. Oh, what is this guy? The fucking mayor of mayonnaise? This guy a mayonnaise sorcerer? A wizard? He understands it inside and out? He's like a spokesperson for Hellman's. He's like advertising the shit out of this product. Both containers are literally liquid. Nothing else has melted in the fridge. And she says, "And I did this?" He says, "I didn't." And she replies with a gif just calling him crazy. Which he is. He is crazy. She didn't do it. You didn't do it. It's something that happens to mayonnaise. You've been living on your own since '96, boofing mayonnaise for fucking 46 years, and you don't understand that mayonnaise can separate. I feel like even if someone explained this to him, he would just disregard it because he chooses not to believe it. He would rather believe that his girlfriend is trying to kill him through liquefying his mayonnaise. It's scary that people can end up at a point like this guy. Does he also go outside and shake his fist whenever the wind blows because he doesn't understand who's making the wind blow? I'd been planking leftovers for late dinner all night before tomorrow starts a new week. Then mayo came out like soy sauce. That's a first. Then the other container did it. Never seen that in my life. Even when mayo is left out. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. He's got the magnifying glass out and he's looking at the footprints and he's starting to piece together what's happening. And then she says, and you're blaming me. I don't even eat mayo. Case in point. And I'm crazy. I don't even know what case in point he's talking about. Like, exactly. You don't eat mayo. Checkmate. She then wants just like full clarification on what he actually thinks is going on. So she says, what is it exactly you think I did? And he disregards that, just saying I'm going to sleep. Hey, Buster, don't forget to check under your bed for the boogeyman that's sabotaging your mayonnaise. Melted mayo. Sabotage your mayo. Wow. Good night. He says, do yourself a favor. Open trash can and look. Tell me it's normal. Just look at both containers. I don't even need to open your trash can. It's normal. She didn't liquefy your mayonnaise, man. It wasn't, pumped full of, plutonium or something to take you out. That happens to mayonnaise. And then here's where it gets real spicy. He says, thus far you haven't been able to poison me. Moron's been watching too much Game of Thrones. He thinks that everyone's out to get him. You're mental. We watch the same shows, which tells me he actually just can't separate reality from fiction. But I would love to know what show has a character poison another through watery mayonnaise. She says, save those bottles and go get them examined, lol. End your brain while you're at it. And he says, well, they're in the trash. Feel free to investigate. 100% he should double fist those Hellmans and take them to a forensic lab to get them checked. He should absolutely do that, and I guarantee, even when it comes back totally normal, no contaminants, he would still disregard it and say that they're lying, it's all a big conspiracy, they're working with his girlfriend to take him out. He then says, tell me if the consistency makes sense. Holy shit, this guy. So she says, so I tried poisoning you. What the hell is wrong with you, dude? I haven't touched your mayo or anyone's mayo, not even touched store mayo. How is it different from last night? What happened last night? I made a sandwich with mayo. Oh no, the smoking gun! Just last night, the mayo was the perfect viscosity, and then today, it's ruined! There's only one explanation. It must have been poisoned by my girlfriend. I realize how odd this is, but I've never seen anything like this. He's making it sound like some kind of crazy scientific discovery, like he just discovered fucking an alien spacecraft that crash landed in his backyard. I've never seen anything of this sort on this planet. It doesn't compute. Mayo doesn't just do this, and you randomly started being calm and cordial this morning, unprompted after weeks and weeks of deliberately being impossible. I threw it all out. This guy sounds like such an asshole. An actual unhinged, delusional, dumb, turbo-idiot asshole. Like, Mayo does do that. Like, it is well known for doing that. It doesn't happen all the time, but it does happen. It's well documented. And he's talking about it like this is some one-of-a-kind phenomenon, and the only logical explanation is that it must have been poisoned. And she just says, you are nuts. Which he is. He then says, it spreads a certain way, unless somehow that has changed. But it would have been within the last 24 hours. It was like it had melted. She just says, dude. Yeah, dude, you know I use mayo on sandwiches. This was like a melted mayo spread. Never seen anything like it from both bottles. And then she's like, okay, then we'll take the bottles tomorrow, have somewhere to examine them, and you can come put them somewhere safe. Put his mayo in a vault, a refrigerated vault. You can find them in trash can. Please feel free to examine them and prove me wrong. I know it sounds weird going to bed. It's weird as fuck and mental. It's just oddly mean. Good night, dude. I don't know why he keeps challenging her to prove him wrong. It would only take one quick Google search to figure out why his mayonnaise has ended up in that state, and it has nothing to do with his girlfriend tampering with it to make an attempt on his life. What a bizarre lunatic, making a huge hubbub about mayonnaise, and then accusing his girlfriend of trying to kill him. That's craziness. I got a little parasocial here trying to learn more about this guy. I got so curious to learn more about him. And she had made a couple other posts about him. The other ones are just really sad. I'm not going to get into it. But there's nothing I learned more about him except that he is a big asshole that is very unstable. And she should absolutely leave him as soon as possible. ASAP. So anyway, I just had to talk about this a little bit. It was a wild read. That's it. See ya.